Hello and welcome to the History of Blaster. Before we start, special thanks to TransformersFandom.com for providing all information you're going to hear today. Blaster loves all Earth music, especially good, hard, loud rock and roll. A powerful fighter who tends to make his presence known, you can find him at the forefront of any situation in which he's involved in. Blaster appeared out of nowhere one day during Wheeljack's demonstration of the modifications he made to the Dinobots to improve their sense of balance and coordination. And to that end, Blaster was requested to play something nice. For some reason, Blaster had trouble tuning into a situation until Grimlock fired at Blaster's controls, allowing the Autobot boombox to tune into the local rock and roll big band music fusion station. Ironhide, Trailbreaker, and Sideswipe showed their appreciation for the fine selection of elevator music by jerkily dancing around and claiming that their audio sensors were being fired. At a not-so-secret EJK testing facility for the new Ultraplane, Blaster was sitting in the back of Ironhide's vehicle mode and didn't seem to notice the fact that Soundwave was sitting right next to him, at least until the Decepticon tape deck launched Ravage, whom Blaster quickly transformed to grab. Ravage turned to attack the Autobot while his master escaped to report to Megatron. Blaster continued to tussle until Ironhide transformed into robot mode and threw them both out of his caboose. After being initially distracted by the Ultraplane's destruction, the Autobots returned to EJK's lab to confront the Decepticons. Blaster greatly appreciated Jazz's taste in fusion rock big band music to confront the hapless villains. Blaster's taste in music often got him into trouble. He attended a concert by a popular 80's rock big band fusion metal hair band with Spike and Carly. Concerned that the other Autobots weren't enjoying the concert with them, Blaster flooded the communication channels with music, though only Cosmos and Jazz seemed to appreciate it. Unfortunately, his taste in music has also disrupted an emergency communique from the Helix Observatory, until the other Autobots told him to shut up. After the volcanic Galaxier was stolen, Blaster teamed up with Cosmos to search for signs of the Decepticons, but both were quickly captured. Blaster was welded into place, used as a trans-scrambler for Megatron's Scream to use the volcanic Galaxier to disrupt communications on Earth, and then demand that all energy on the planet in exchange for normality. While Megatron ranted about his demands, Blaster secretly played his music, which served both to rally the Autobots and inform them of Megatron's location, until Megatron kicked him in the face. After foiling the Decepticons' plan, Blaster was assigned to the abandoned moon base with Cosmos, but quickly got into trouble with Prime again for his music. Later, Blaster and Trax helped the New York police crack a car thief ring by positioning an attractive target for punks to steal. After Blaster teamed up with a car thief, they learned that Megatron was behind the criminal operation, stealing cars to rebuild them into transforming drones. Blaster defended the Washington Bridge from the Decepticon drones alongside the Autobots, but they were nearly overwhelmed by sheer numbers. After Ratchet realized that the cars were remote-controlled, Blaster jammed the frequency, allowing the Autobots to attack and defeat the Decepticons. Blaster was watching as the kitchen sinks with his Autobot buddies when Prime informed them that Trax and Bumblebee were late returning from their supply run. Suspecting foul play, the Autobots took off to search for their missing comrades. While on the search, Blaster was forcibly transformed by a Creamy Cream billboard, then carted away by the big game lord hunter Chumley and his butler Dismore as bait to lure Optimus Prime into a hunt. Chumley apparently couldn't think of a suitably dastardly device in which to store Blaster, though as he was totally absent from Chumley's prisoner showcase later on. In the year 2005, Blaster was assigned to the communications hub at Autobot City on Earth. When the fortress was attacked by the Decepticons, Blaster attempted to send out a distress signal to Optimus Prime's forces on Moonbase 1. His efforts were disrupted by Soundwave, who had sent out his cassette forces to destroy the hub's transmitter. Blaster countered with his own cassette army. After the Decepticons retreated, Blaster was helping to rebuild the city when he received a faint signal from Jazz and Cliffjumper on Moonbase 1, which was being eaten by a ginormous, weird-looking planet. In early 2006, Blaster was stationed mostly on Earth. After the attack on the Galactic Olympics, which saw Ultra Magnus, Cup, and Spike kidnapped, Blaster and Outback were sent to North Africa, nation of Cambodia, on the suspicion that the military leader was harboring Decepticon fugitives. Despite the military leader's assurances that there were no Decepticons on his soil, Outback managed to psych out Dirge and Ramjet, whose escape was quickly put down by the Australian-accented Autobot. After returning to Autobot City, Blaster kept tabs on the delivery of Metroplex transforming cog, which had been damaged during the Battle of Autobot City the year before. Unfortunately, Blur and Wheelie's delivery shuttle was destroyed by Galvatron, forcing Blaster to call upon Commander Marissa Fairborn of the Earth Defense Command for help. However, Fairborn and the Autobot delivery team were stranded when the Poli native, Io, destroyed the EDC ship. So, the long-suffering Blaster sent rescue in the form of the magnificent Skylynx, whom Blaster remarked was difficult to describe. After Skylynx saved their friends and delivered the cog to Earth, Pipes installed the cog, and Blaster activated Metroplex's transformation sequence. Once the Autobot City defeated the Decepticon giant Tripticon, Blaster declared that Metroplex was his kind of town. Background information. The pre-Transformer version of Blaster was actually a functioning AM radio. The micro-change release of the toy came with a micro cassette-sized radio that plugged into Blaster, which had internal wiring that allowed the radio to play through the speakers on its legs. The big hole in his electro-scrambler rifle is an earphone storage space, while the cord can be wrapped around the gun and plug connects to the hole in the gun stock. Despite popular belief, the compartment on the back of the Blaster toy was not a remnant of the battery compartment, but was actually storage for one of the transforming microcassettes, since a plug kept them from fitting in the cassette door. The battery compartment was actually in one of his legs. In October 1991, Blaster states that he is 3,701,921 years old, on the letter page of the Marvel UK issue, number 326. A character in the Disney movie G-Force resembles Blaster. He has his accent, same military position, and even shares his name. Finally, one of the main reasons that Blaster survived the movie was that he had some new toys, Eject, Ramhorn, Steeljaw, and Rewind to show off. Thank you for watching the history of Blaster. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. If you already have, then thank you, and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.